Hey everyone, just give me a second here as I get set up on all our platforms. And let's refresh this again. Just give me a minute. I think I'm only live on YouTube at the moment. All right. Give me one second. Hey everybody, looking forward to our coaching and coffee hour today using a new software called Restream. And just need to, oh, that is a blurry video there on the Facebook. We will trust that that will be better. All right, give me one second. Let's see. Here I am. Yeah, everything is looking really blurry. Well, we're going to click go live and trust that all is well. All right, hi. I am now connecting to Instagram. Great, we are on the Instagram. Let me move this here. Instagram, I'm doing a different structure today. But yeah, there's a huge, what do you call that? I look really blurry. That's all right. We will see how it all unfolds. All right, everyone. Hi. Whoops. I hate that new Mac thing. Okay. Hi, everybody. Jody Bentley here. Hi, hi, hi. Let me see. There I am live in the Facebook group. Yeah, we're super blurry. Okay, so I'm using this new software called Restream. And last week or 2 weeks ago when I did it, it didn't connect to Facebook. And now I am connected to Facebook. I'm looking over here on my Facebook screen and I'm like super blurry. So there we are. And I'm looking on Instagram and now I'm also super blurry. So I'm still not doing something right, apparently, with this software. But my goal, my friends, is to have this coffee and coaching hour, which is for you to answer any and all questions that you have about your acting business, what's going on in the industry, to have a deep, honest conversation about it. My goal is to do that on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook at the same time. The universe has been conspiring against me, apparently. And hi, for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Jody Bentley. I am the CEO of Actor Insider and the Actor's Office. I do go live on the first and third Fridays of every month. I'm super clear here on what is this called? The Restream, which I believe would use YouTube, and not clear anywhere else. If you're on Instagram, hi Keem, hi Carolyn. Am I like pixelated and weirdo? Can you just let me know? And let me see who's watching. And hey, Erica on Facebook. Am I all pixelated and weirdo? Let me know. I mean, really, there's nothing that I can do about it now. So alas, but at least you can hear me. But I did my makeup and everything, and now it's going to be all weird. Yeah, I don't see anything like anything's wrong. Okay, we digress. Slightly pixelated. Yeah, right? It's never like that. Thank you, Carolyn. Hi, Keem. Good afternoon. All right. Well, you know what? We're moving forward. And there's obviously a latency issue or something that I need to look at. But alas, hi. Once again, I'm Jody Bentley. I am the CEO of Actor Insider and the Actor's Office. I go live on the first and third Fridays of every month, and now I'm endeavoring to go live on YouTube and Insta and Facebook at the same time. Again, to have a conversation with you about your career, your acting business, and what is going on. And I just want to start by saying, I do feel, first of all, hey, Katie, how are you? Katie's on the YouTube. I do feel, yeah, Erica says sadly, yes. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Quality. Maybe we go, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let go of perfection and continue on. Oops, now I'm missing the, there you go. Just make sure I can see the questions. If you are not liking looking at me pixelated, and again, I apologize. I will figure this out for the next time. We ran like 4 tests and everything was fine. So anyway, if you don't want to look at me pixelated on Instagram or on Facebook in my group, The Actors Workspace, I am also live on YouTube at Actor Insider. So if you want to see the video there, you can see it in any place you would prefer to see my face. There we go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the state of the industry. And again, I really want to hear any and all questions that you do have. Please comment in the chat. Please engage. I show up for you, right? Carolyn said it's not too distracting. Don't worry. Okay, perfect. So just want to say, I do show up for you, right? This time is for you, because look, I've been an actor for a long time, and I just got this new podcast mic. What do we think? It's white. It matches my white desk. It makes me very happy. Anyway, I've been an actor for a long time. I get what you go through because I'm going through it. I'm in the trenches with you. And, I've really been paying attention to the trends of the industry and where we are. And, since COVID and moving forward, we've had a roller coaster of a ride. And I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. And, just keeping my pulse on what's happening, I do know that there are shows that are starting to pick up, right? I do feel in my heart of hearts, and just from what I'm seeing with my husband working at Disney and all this stuff, and the 3 new pilots coming down the pike there, that I know there's new stuff happening in other places, right? I've been hearing clients getting auditions on some new shows that are being cast. So I just want to say that I do feel that things are starting to slowly be on an upswing. And I know it's not how we wanted to start this year, right? I felt January, actually I had more auditions than February completely. But here we are. But also I want to say that there's this vibe I'm feeling with actors now. And please tell me if this is how you're feeling. Um, because we've been on this path for so long. We've been saying to ourselves, "Oh, it's going to get better. Things are going to pick up." And we haven't, we had a little like lift in the fall and then it came back down. I think we had a little lift in January and it came back down. I just feel like people are a little tired. I just was asked to teach a workshop at the SAG Conservatory, and uh, uh, and usually I've taught this workshop. This is like my 3rd time teaching there. They would keep inviting me back. I will say the head of the SAG Conservatory said it was one of her favorite workshops that were there. So I love that. Anyway, so if you're part of the conservatory, please show up for my workshop. I'm going to be doing it again in June or July. Anyhow, I digress. It was just interesting. It's like the first time I did the workshop there, like 100 people showed up, then like 70 people showed up. And this time, like 40 people showed up for a 3-hour free workshop on how to nail the agent interview. And I'm just noticing that actors are showing up less. And I get it. Like, I get it. I understand why you want to do that, right? Like, we feel like when the industry slows down, we kind of slow down with it. And, my mantra during COVID was like, we got to be ready, be ready, be ready. And then that felt like tired, right? I've gotten those tired of being ready. But I feel like we're kind of in that space again. You know what I mean? Where, um, the industry is slowing, we're slowing down, going, I have no control, right? So I'm going to slow down and wait for the industry to pick up. But if we're constantly waiting for the industry to pick up, then you're constantly in stasis. Do you know what I mean? And being in being in that stasis just doesn't feel good. And it is not moving your career forward. What you're doing is putting all of your power into the industry and the trends of the industry and saying, well, if I don't have auditions, then I'm not working, right? Or then I'm slow. No auditions are coming in, then why bother doing anything else? Right? Yeah, and Katie's saying here on YouTube, it's the video game strike now on top of it, right? Yes, of course. We have that going on, right? So there's a lot going on. But if we're constantly saying, I'm going to be in reaction to what is happening in the industry now, we will never move forward. We will never move forward. So, my question to you, even when it feels slow, even when the industry is slowing down, how can you use this time for you? Because when the industry slows down, if you go, yeah, I'm not going to reach out to people, I'm not going to network, I'm not going to ask people out for coffees or this or that, or you know what, my materials are fine, I'll just let them be. Or you know what, I don't need to build connections with casting right now, it's so slow, right? If that's where your mindset is, you're going to constantly be in reactive mode and constantly playing catch up. And that's the thing. I think a lot of actors live here. We're like, oh God, I gotta, oh God. Well, we do two things. The industry's slow. We complain. I have no auditions. Things are awful. Why am I an actor? Right? We do all these things. And then the industry is picking back up and we go, oh God, I got to do the things and I got to network now and I got to send my emails and I got to, la, 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 right? So we're in like two extremes of emotions as opposed to going, okay, the industry is slow. I get it. Even for myself, I had some auditions in January. I was pinned for a show in December. I was pinned for a show in January. February was crickets, you guys, crickets. So I could either compare and despair and go, my new manager sucks. My agent sucks. This industry sucks. How awful. I have no auditions. Woe is me. Right. Or I could go, okay, cool. The industry's still coming back. I hear people are having auditions. So I guess they're just not writing for me right now. And what I book, great, fine. That will change. It always does. Right. And go, but what can I control right now? What I can control right now is getting a couple songs on self tape because I'm rebuilding my musical theater career. What I can control right now is actually planning for a new headshot session. I'm due for a couple new looks that I want to get and add to my arsenal of tools. What am I in control of now? I'm in control of writing the next draft and making some tweaks on my screenplay. I am in control of reaching out to directors I've wanted to have coffee with or producers, directors I've worked with in the past to reconnect. I am in control of those things. I'm not going to stop because the industry is slow. Does that make sense? Let me know how you're feeling about this. Let me know how you're feeling. Because you don't want to stop just because the industry is slow. You're giving your power away. Katie says, I've been writing a lot more lately, including trying my hand at writing for audio dramas. Amazing. Finding the things where I have control. Exactly, Katie. Exactly. I'm just looking over here, making sure I see any comments coming through. So let me know if you've been falling prey to this vibe a little bit, right? Of it's slow, so I'm not going to do anything. Let me know um if that's been that's how you've been feeling lately. Katie says been up and down for me, depends on the day, trying to ground myself in light and the positive. Yes, for sure. That's I don't want to say that's all we can do, but it is what we get to do, right? I've been focusing more on my inner game this year, right? Because look, I mean, I teach limiting beliefs. I talk about limiting beliefs for actors. I talk about the excuses and getting out of our own way. And when you up level to new places in your career and in your life, those voices get louder again. And then we get to manage them. And they get louder again. And then we get to manage them. Or when things are slow, they get louder again and we need to manage them. I'm spending some time focusing on that. Right. Really diving back into my limiting belief if I am not enough and what else can I do to feel like I'm enough. Right. And that is enhancing my acting career. That is going to move my acting career forward. That's going to move my life forward. So I really want you all to think about what can you control now? It is not the time to retreat. It is not the time to pull back. It is not the time to just complain about the industry. Right, Katie, I saw your photo of you and Will on the picket line for the video game strike. I love that you are out there doing it, connecting, being a part of it. Right. And I get it when things are slow. Most of us, including myself, we want to retreat. That can be your defense mechanism. Right. So I invite you just to really look at that, really take a view of your career and go, what is happening now? What can I focus on now? I am not in control of how many auditions I get every week. And on the flip side, are you back on Actors Access? Are you submitting for some short films? Maybe that hasn't been part of your plan in the past. Maybe your plan has been big feature films and television, but maybe now it is time to meet some new up and coming filmmakers. Maybe it is time to work on some short films because nothing else is happening. Maybe it is time to get a cold reading group together with your friends so that way you feel like you're in motion and doing something together and keeping your creative juices flowing. This is how I want you to think. So if you've been a little bit in that victim mentality, you got to break out of it and focus on what you do have and what you can control. Carolyn says, I think it's more, this is on Instagram, more of like a mental health balance. Yes. I know of it, you keep doing even when discouraged. Sometimes it feels like grasping and sometimes it feels like power. Yeah, so for sure. She says, for me, it's being aware of where I'm at and if my motivation is right. Yes. Yes, right? Is it just the ego, right? Of I just got to keep going. I just got to keep doing. I got to put my blinders on and go. Because that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is an awareness of what's happening, an awareness of our industry, and then stepping into your power, examining your own career and going, what makes most sense for me to do now? Because the answer is never nothing. The answer is never. There's always something we can be doing to be growing and moving forward as artists. There's always something. March, my goal again, as I said, is I want to at least get one song on tape, but also get back to my artistry, right? I'm working one-on-one with an acting coach now. Like doing certain things that I can do. Again, so focusing on my artistry. It's been my mindset and my artistry. So what do you want to focus on? So Carolyn, I think that's really, it feels like grasping. It feels like power. I love that. And if it feels like grasping, take a breath, right? Because that you're doing that out of desperation, fear, ego, anger, something, right? There's some kind of emotion going on that makes it feel like grasping, as opposed to a choice, right? The choice of being in my power, um, the choice of being in my power, and go moving from that space. This is a stupid analogy, but I'll share it with you guys anyway. Uh, so every other week, my husband and I plan a date night, for each other. We've been staying at home for our date nights because our dog is going through heartworm treatment and we don't want to leave him alone. So it was my husband's turn. So he cooked us dinner and then he said, tonight we're playing Risk, the board game Risk. And I never played this game as a kid, and now I'm sad that I never did because I really liked it, but though today I really hate it, but that's part of the story. Um, so we started playing Risk, and you guys, I was killing it, right? I don't know if you've ever played. It's like global domination is what it is. Anyway, we're playing, and like I conquered Africa, and then I conquered Australia, and then I conquered the US or the North America, right? So I had like all these continents. I'm winning. I was taking risks. I was moving forward. And then my ego kicked in and I was like, this game's easy. I got this. I know what I'm doing. And then I started failing, right? Losing. And then my anger kicked in. And so I pushed forward even harder. And now I'm really losing. We've been playing over like 2 nights now. And now I'm really losing. Why? Because I let my ego and my anger run the show. And I didn't stand in my power. When I started, I was in my power and then I let my ego take over. And I think then I started laughing at myself and I'm like, what a lesson for life, right? If we can be in our power and then know when to stop, know when to push forward, know when to focus on networking, know when to focus on mindset, know when to focus on mental health, know when to focus on those things, as opposed to ego, push, 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 go, 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 go. Does that make any sense at all? What I'm saying? Elise says there are better board games, Jody. I know, which is probably why I never played it, Elise. But my husband wanted to play it, and in my competitive nature, really enjoyed it. Anyway, Elise said, "Oh God, why?" Well, Elise, we're always growing and changing and learning new things. And I wanted to learn the board game. So there we go. But I told him this morning I was about to throw it off the table. But anyway, I digress. But does that make sense though? The analogy for it, right? So as you're looking at your career right now, and that you might be looking at it through a lens of anger, ego, disheartenedness, frustration, sadness, and excitement, whatever filter you're looking at it through. But there's, just know that, but be aware of the filter that you're looking at it through and go, but what's the truth? How can I stand in my power in this? And how can I move forward? What makes that the most sense for me to move forward? What am I in control of now to be able to move forward? That's the best choice for you. Does this make sense? Just want to say hi, Paul. Hi, Rupinder. Hi, Anne. I was hi to Elise on Facebook. And everything's working now. No more pixelation. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Erica. I don't know if you fixed anything. Did you fix something? I saw you sent me a message. If you did, thank you. If it all worked out, it just worked out. Awesome. Katie says, I love that analogy. Katie, I figured you would. You love the board games and stuff. Take that, Elise. I'm kidding. I missed you, Elise. All right. So here we are. For those of you just tuning on in, I am Jody Bentley. I'm the CEO of Actor Insider and the Actors Office. I've been coaching actors since 2008 on how to take their power back in their career and how to really get the acting career that they want. I go live on the first and third Fridays of every month on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to answer any and all questions that you do have about your acting business, because this is not a go-it-alone business. And I wish in my 20s I had someone that I could bounce ideas off of. And I want to be that person for you, whether in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I have clients in their 80s who work with me who are finally pursuing their dream of being an actor. So that is why I am here. So I really want to turn this over to you. What questions do you have? What is coming up for you right now? How are you feeling right now? Do you want to talk anything through? Please write it in the comments. I can see everyone's comments here. I keep looking over to my left because I have Facebook open over there. Gonna move my shake over here. But I can see everyone's comments. So please let me know what is going on for you. What is happening? How are you feeling? And I still look like I'm pixelated on Instagram, but not on Facebook. Alas, whatever. Here we are. So what's happening? We've been talking about the sort of the macro view of the industry right now. And I've just been talking about the idea of control, right? And what can you control? What can you focus on? All right, Katie on YouTube has a question. Let's see if I show that there. Do you guys see that? I wonder. We'll see. Katie, question. When looking for audiobook samples, do you stick with books where the book's POV is from the female character's perspective if you're male, or does it matter as long as it fits? That's a great question. I have a lot of samples up on my audiobook profile, which is the male perspective, that the book has a lot of female characters, right? So the narrator might be male. I mean, I would say the majority of the books I do, the narrator's female. I will say that. But I have done, especially some like romance stuff, where it might be the narrator's male talking about the females, right? And then I'm all the voices of the females in the book. So I think, Katie, you could have a sample like that for sure, right? That is a male narrator, a male narrator, but then having you do a female voice. So maybe it's finding a male narrator perspective with some dialogue. I think that might be a good sample to have, because what that does show is like when I do, and I've had books actually too, where, yeah, like I did a whole maybe 12 book actually thriller series, where each chapter was narrated from a different character's perspective. So there was always the heroine perspective, right, of the lead woman in the book, but then her detective partner, it would be his perspective in the next chapter. So I think a lot of books are written differently. So and so what was great for me as a narrator was to distinguish between my narrator voice of when it was the heroine, because they were all done from the I perspective, and distinguishing my narrator voice of when it was the male detective, because again, that was from the I perspective, and then all the voices that were in that. So I do think that that's a great question. And I do think having a sample like that would really just show the dexterity of your voice. And that you can just do different things. So I think that's a great question, Katie. And I would definitely find something like that. I would say that, yeah, that thriller series, I did it in, and a couple romance things I did it in. You don't see it often. A lot of times when the book does switch perspective, lately I'm seeing, because I've done books like this too, where the female narrator, I'll be hired for the female narrator, and then a guy will be hired for the male narrator. So you see that too. And sometimes someone wants one voice throughout the whole thing, because sometimes people think two voices are jarring. So, there's lots of different perspectives and aesthetics on that. But I do think having something like that in your arsenal, Katie, would be great, especially if you can, deepen your voice a little bit for the male narrator and figure out where that lives. So I have phlegm in my throat. So that was not a very good example. But you know what I mean? Like if my female narrator is up here and she's talking, but my male narrator is just down a little bit, so they know that when it's that sound, that's what it is, right? And a lot of you can play with timbre, you can play with pacing. There's a lot of things that you can play around with in terms of differentiating that. So yeah, Katie, definitely. I think it's definitely worthwhile to get that in your arsenal, because not every woman would have that. And I think that's why I've booked things like that and keep booking things like that, because I do have female narrating male parts, right? I think that's the category in ACX of what it's called. So I love that. Thank you. All right, on Facebook, I have a question from Noreen. Hi, Noreen. I heard from some actors that most auditions will go back to in person this year, or at least there will be a significant increase. Do you have any insights about this? The thing I've heard, speaking with casting directors, is most film and television stuff will not go back in person. Callbacks may, or at least callbacks may be more on Zoom, but I do not believe. And again, have I talked to every casting director? No, I have not. But I've talked to a lot of them and done workshops with some of them, and I do feel that film and television specifically will always have a self tape to start. And then depending on the budget, the producers, right? If they want callbacks in the room, do they want chemistry reads in the room, right? I think obviously chemistry reads for television that will go live again. I had a chemistry read over Zoom before, and I think they'll probably get rid of that. But I do think the first self tape will still be a pre screen, right? And they've been, especially for co star guest star, they've even just been casting off the first self tape. I've been pinned 3 times in the past 3 months on a self tape for a co star guest star. So, in terms of film and television, I do not see that going back in the room. In terms of theater, I've been hearing more and more, right? And I know in New York, all my clients who are in New York right now, there are the ECCs and the EPAs, and all of those are in person back at the Equity Center. Like that is what is happening there. I've had people request to do self tapes for some theater stuff and get denied by the casting director or artistic director of that theater because they're really trying to move theater back into the room. It's been a mix in terms of commercials that I've seen. Most of the commercials that I get are still self-tape. The callbacks are in the room. Though I hear clients going, "Oh my God, I have to drive into Hollywood to go to a commercial audition today." So I feel like that is picking up and changing. I think it just depends on the casting office and what people are been used to, right? Or what casting directors have gotten in the habit of doing that works for them. So I don't think we can make a blanket statement at all of we're all going back in the room or we're all staying online. I think it depends on the type of auditions. And I think it will also depend on that office and what they love to do. Like, look, I know a lot of actors who left Los Angeles or left New York during the pandemic, right? And they loved self tapes. They did their self tapes. The same things happened with casting directors. A lot of casting directors left the major markets, moved to where they wanted to go. They can still do their job because of self tapes. So it works both ways. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just think we can't make a generalization right now on what that will look like, but I just know every medium is a little bit different. But as far as film and television goes, I don't see that going back at all. At all. Let's see. Elise on Facebook says, with VO, I feel like I need to work on my actual voice. Any suggestions? Oh, like, you mean like vocal exercises or something, Elise? Do you mean on when you say work on your voice? Oh, hit the mic. When you say work on your voice, can you just give me some more clarity about what that means for you? Because does that mean working on accents, characters, vocal strength, longevity, right? Like, what do you mean by that? Let me know. Let me know. Oh, seems like I'm pixelated again on Facebook. Oh well. And this still says I have 2 comments. That's funny. Okay. Um, Sorry, team. Just seeing if I don't see all the comments on Facebook. I just want to make sure that I am not missing anything. Let me go here. Oops, what happened over here? Oh, here we go. Nope, we're good. This just moved. All right. So while I am figuring that out, let me see if I see the comments here. 1 second. No, I still just see the top 5, but that's okay. I think we're okay. All right. Yeah, at least give me some clarification on that. And now I'm waiting for Elise to do that. Again, hi, for those of you just tuning on in. I'm Jody Bentley. I'm the CEO of Actor Insider, the Actor's Office, which is a relationship audition tracking software for actors that I developed during COVID. If you are just tuning on in, I'm here to answer any and all questions that you do have about your acting business. I've been a career coach for actors since 2008, a very long time. I've built the business of acting program at 5 universities. I have 2,300 clients in 17 countries. I've seen what works. I see what doesn't, and I'm here to help. So I want to know what questions you have in your own acting business. All right. Elise says, I have such a flat, like vocal quality and yes, range of characters. I have such a flat, strained Midwestern voice. I wanna sound like Miriam Margolyes? Okay. Miriam Margolyes, should I know who that is? Who's Miriam Margolyes? Um, Let me know. But a flat, strained Midwestern voice. I would look, I haven't done like I did so much vocal training in college to get rid of my Boston accent. I had a terrible Boston accent, you guys. I say terrible. I know lots of people in Boston, their accents aren't terrible. It's where I grew up. Um, but I had a really thick Boston accent, and trying to do Shakespeare with a Boston accent didn't work. But we did a lot of what was the I don't even think there was a name for our technique that we used. You know what? At least there's a vocal coach I had in New York. His name is Andrew Byrne. It was more for singing. But he has a lot of tools online, which is a lot about like vocal strength and dexterity for singers, which I do believe I think why I'm good at audiobooks is because I had a musical background. So I know how to use my voice and how to change the timbre of my voice, the quality of my voice, and do those kinds of things. I think his website now is The Singing Athlete. Let me double check that information for you. Famous British legend. Oh, she played the oh, see, Elise, I didn't watch all the Harry Potter stuff. I know. I know. It's not that I didn't want to. It's just once it's like gone for so long, once it's 4 films in, it's like, "Oh my god, there's too much to catch up on," or 8 books, whatever it is. Here, I'm typing this in YouTube. I can't yet. Let me see if I can type it over here in Facebook for you. I just invite you to look at The Singing Athlete. Sorry, I'm away from the mic. I don't know if you can still hear me. Um, and see if there's something there for you. Because yeah, Andrew, here, this is the website there. At least I just posted it in Facebook. It says I love Shakespeare with a Boston accent. Ooh, it was special. Let me say that. Um, yeah, it sounds like you just need some more strength and dexterity. And I know that he has either some free stuff or some program which is all about that. So I would start there. I would also just go on YouTube and like look at vocal exercises. What were you saying here? Oh, see, now I only see a certain amount of comments, which is a pain in the butt. Just for like, yeah, you said a flat sound. So how to get more roundness, more resonance in your voice, I think is probably what you might be looking for. I would even go on YouTube and look at that stuff. I'm blanking on other like vocal programs at the moment. If something comes up, I'll post it in the Facebook as well. And if anyone has a resource, please share, and then I can post it. Or you can, if you're in the Facebook and listening to this, please post that for Elise. But yeah, I just sounds like there just needs to be some more dexterity and openness in your voice. Like when our voices sound flat, it's like we're pinching it. Do you know what I mean? It's like a pinched sound as opposed to an open sound. And that is exactly what, singers get to do is we really learn how to open all of our resonance, right? So that the sound is fuller, the sound is bigger, and then we can play around with tone and timbre. So I would start with that. I would start with that at least. All right, Katie has a question on the YouTube. I was gonna take a sip of my protein shake. I didn't finish it yet. Mm. Another audiobook question from Katie. When you're looking for samples, do you want to avoid authors you want to read for, especially if they already have an audiobook of the material you want to use that's out, or does it not matter? Oh, that's an interesting question. I hadn't thought about that before. I'm of two minds as I'm thinking about it. My first thought, um, is it's like doing a scene from like When Harry Met Sally. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, I want to work with the writer, of Harry Met Sally. So I'm going to do When Harry Met Sally, and everybody knows the scenes in there, right? And so they're thinking about Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. Do you know what I mean? Um, and if I'm applying this to your question, meaning if this author is looking for somebody, but you're narrating the words of his book, which now he's used to, and he's listened to the whole book with that other author. He's used to hearing it read in the way he's heard it read, and now it's different. And sometimes when we're so used to something, right? Like imagine if someone else acted out When Harry Met Sally, you'd go, "That's not Meg Ryan." Do you know what I mean? You're like, "Oh no, I like how I know how it's supposed to sound, right?" Because that's ingrained in our DNA and our subconscious because that movie is so iconic. Um, right. So it might be the same with the audiobook narrator, excuse me, the author, where they go, they're so used to hearing that narrator in that book that it might be jarring to the ear, but not in a good way. And I'm thinking that's how I'm feeling about it. So I would, Katie, as opposed to targeting that author specifically who's already had those books narrated, who's an adjacent author, who's in the same exact genre, who's on that same playing field, right? If it's someone that if it's Harry Potter, right? Who else is writing in that style, right? Who's writing fantasy, who's in that style that would make total sense for that author when they are looking for someone to go, oh, that's it. That's what I want. Yeah, Katie, I don't think it's stepping on people's toes. I'm looking at it from the perspective of we get so used to hearing something a certain way. Do you know what I mean? Um, we just get used to it. I'm trying to think of another analogy. Um, Like every time I answer the phone, if someone calls me and I answer the phone, I go, "Hi, this is Jody." That's how I answer the phone. Um, because it's usually a business call, it's usually something, and if it's my friend, I see their number coming through and I go, "Hey, what's up?" Right? But if I don't know the number, I go, "Hi, this is Jody." But if a friend was calling and and I instead of saying, "Hey, what's up?" to my friend, if I was like, "Hi, thanks for calling Jody. This is she," they'd be like, "What?" Because it's not what they're used to hearing. You know what I mean? We get used to hearing things in a certain way. So I think that's my only point, Katie, is that author will have worked very closely with that narrator. They will have heard that person's voice countless times reading their words. So I wouldn't want their first thought to be comparison, like an actor doing When Harry Met Sally or something iconic. So I would find something adjacent. I think it would just, especially if you're targeting that author, I think it might make more sense. Let me know if that makes sense to you or if you have a counterpoint to that. Because I hadn't thought about that in those terms. So it's a really great question. And it might be something just to explore. Katie, also, I've seen so many versions of the Narnia books or books like The Hobbit. That's very true. That's very true, right? So if it is that world, and probably like a passage of a book wouldn't be as memorable in the author's mind as an iconic movie like When Harry Met Sally, right? Or something like that. Um, you know what, Katie? I mean, look, this is what we do. We get to test things out, right? So that's one perspective I gave you, but like I also hear your perspective on it. And why not put a sample up? If there's an author you really love, maybe put a sample up of that and something up adjacent. Because what they're going to do is if they're looking for you, if they're looking for someone to narrate, they're going to say, "Oh, who narrates a female narrating fantasy, childlike voice, whatever it may be." Do you know what I mean? They're going to look for that. So if their samples, all your samples come up, they'll choose what they want to listen to. They might see their book and be flattered. Do you know what I mean? Or they might see their book and go, "Oh, no, I don't want to hear that. I'll hear the other one." So maybe have both, right? Um, and test because if you once you book something or get the audition, you can always ask, "Hey, I'm just curious for my own marketing. What sample of mine drew you to have me audition for this?" Yeah, maybe do both. Why the fuck not? You know what I mean? It's all testing. Everything is testing, you guys. Even everything that I've been teaching since 2008 was things were tested, right? I tried something, It worked, it failed. Why did it fail? Let me test this. Oh, that worked better. Works. Oh, this could tweak, right? Or we try something, oh, that didn't work at all, right? So everything that I teach is based on trial and error, not just for myself, but for what I've seen clients do. And then sometimes we get to a point, right? As the industry is shifting and changing and trends shift and change, and no one knew how to market after self tape. So then we had to test that and figure that out. Right. This could be a testing thing for you in audiobooks right now. So that's why I think we have to remember that a lot of times there is no right or wrong. It's just testing. And what might work with this one author might not work with another. So why not set yourself up with, hey, if I really want to work with these three authors, I'm going to do a sample of a book from each of these authors, and then something adjacent, and then let it go. Cool. Katie says, awesome. Thank you. I'll definitely keep that in my head. Yeah, it's so interesting, and I think and I appreciate these questions you're asking, Katie, 'cause it's about strategy. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes when we start thinking about strategy and what to do, that we're so afraid to be wrong. And I'm not saying this is you, Katie. I'm just talking in general. That we're so afraid to be wrong that we don't do anything. Do you know what I mean? Or we make one choice. We'll go, okay, fine. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do one sample from the author. We're just using you as an example. And then we don't get the feedback we want on it, or we don't book the books. We go, oh, that didn't work. And then we leave it. And then we don't do anything else. When we could, let's do an A/B test, right? People do that in business all the time. An A/B test. Let me have one of each and see what works best, right? That's why when I have clients go through headshots, yes, we choose our headshots and we go, great, I'm going to put these 5 to 7 on Actors Access, but I have these backups ready to go. If in 3 months, 6 months, I haven't gotten the response I've wanted, I have backups ready to go in. Why? Because we're testing. We're testing. So I think that's something to always remember, is that strategy can change and morph, and that we're going to constantly be in curiosity mode and testing mode about stuff, you know, like Elise, even with Elise talking about the vocal training, right? Try the singing athlete, test it out. Does that work for you? Well, this part really worked. This part didn't. Cool. Who else teaches this stuff because that worked for me? And be curious about it. Where I think a lot of times actors can be all or nothing. Well, that didn't work. Forget it. Do you know what I mean? Now I got to pivot and go to a totally different direction. And then we go there. We're like, well, that didn't work. Forget it. And we leave everything and then we go in a totally different direction, as opposed to parsing out what is working and what is not, and really having our strategy, you know, be this like slow and steady wins the race, right? Slow and steady assess, slow and steady assess, slow and steady assess, as opposed to jumping all in. Fuck, this didn't work. I'm gonna go have some wine. Do you know what I mean? Katie says, "Oh no, that's absolutely me." And it's not just you, Katie. It's not just you. Let me know in the comments if this is if that resonates with you at all. Let me see what's happening here on Facebook. Erica says Seth Riggs trained singing coaches to increase vocal resonance. Perfect. Thanks, Erica. Appreciate that. And she trained with Eric Futterer. Oh, perfect. Perfect. I love it. So other resources for you there, Elise. Perfect. All right, team. Let me know what else. I haven't finished my damn breakfast yet. It's 10:40. Let me finish this. So what else is going on? Let me know what questions you have. Let me know if what we've been talking about resonates. If you have a follow-up question with any of this. I know we've been talking a lot about audiobooks and vocal stuff, but you can ask about anything: agents, headshots, marketing strategy, goal strategy, networking strategy, connecting to people, whatever it may be. I teach all of it. I've been teaching all of it for a long time, as I said. So let me know what's happening in your career and what you're thinking. I'm going to do one more sip. Okay, that's it. I'm good. All right. Yeah. So what's going on? What's happening? Everyone's quiet now. And was to continue the conversation of what we've been talking about with Katie in terms of strategy. It's important to have strategy. It's important to have, oops, I hit my mic again, systems in place that you can follow, and then assess along the way, again, to be able to go, oh, I'm going to tweak this thing. Because I think what happens is sometimes we go, okay, I'm going to do this, whatever it may be. I'm going to email these agents. And we email the agents, and then we hear nothing, say, and then we scrap the whole plan, right? Or we email these agents, we hear nothing, and then we say, I got to change everything and send the email again. And so then you rewrite the whole email, you change the entire subject line, when maybe the email was great. It was just the subject line that needed to be tweaked, right? Or maybe your open rate was really good. You want to track your opens and clicks on emails. If you're not doing that with agent campaigns, you're missing out. If maybe your open rate was really great, but your click rate wasn't great, then we got to look at the body of the email. Right. So we need to have data. So as you're implementing strategy, you need to have some, in business, we call them KPIs. When you're running a business, you look at your KPIs, your key performance indicators, right? So if I'm sending out an agent email, I want to be looking at my key performance indicators, my KPIs, my open rate, my click rate, and if people are responding to me, right? So if I send out an email and I have a 60% open rate, well, shit, that subject line is working. It is working, right? If I look at my click rate and it's 1%, all right, that's the body of the email needs a tweak. Something else needs to be a little bit more compelling to get them to click on my reel or my IMDb or my Actors Access, right? Or if I don't get any response at all, then I can think, okay, what is happening? I mean, I'll go back to the click and open rates, but if I'm say my open rate is really low, it's a subject line thing, right? Or if the open rate is high, my click rate is low, but I've gotten 3 people email me back and say, "Thank you so much for reaching out." But no, that is also information. That is good information. That means people are reading the email. There's just no spot for me on their roster, right? So again, going back to Katie, audiobooks, I'm going to put out these 2 samples, right? I don't know, you can't tell if you're using ACX who's clicking what, but I can ask authors when I get an audition, oh, was there a particular sample that attracted you to my voice, right? I can start to track those things, right? It's so important to track stuff in your career or else everything feels like chaos. Everything feels like spaghetti thrown against the wall. And that's when we have that all or nothing thing. So I just want you to keep thinking about that in terms of strategy. And look, if strategy has been your Achilles heel, just FYI, in 10 days, I am hosting a free 5-day training called the In Demand Actor Blueprint. I'm going to teach you 5 strategies that working actors use. So if strategy has been your issue, I really invite you to sign up for that training. I'll be going live every day on a Q&A. I'll be doing a different training every day on a different strategy for your career. And I highly urge you to sign up for it. Like I said, it starts March 17th. I'm going to record everything. All the videos will be live through March 28th. You'll have plenty of time to watch it. I'll post the link somewhere here. I know on Instagram you can find it. It's definitely in my bio. It's definitely all over my Instagram. My Facebook group, the Actors Workspace. You'll see the banner for it in there, the cover photo. But I will also post the link for everybody. But if you want more strategy, I definitely invite you to sign up for this free 5-day training. It is epic. I've done this a few times now, and changing a few things this time. But it's been game changing for people. It's been mind blowing for people because I really want you to start to think about things in a different way, right? Um, so yeah, I'm putting the link in the chat for everybody. Did I get in there? Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that. There's been a lot more questions on Instagram that I've missed. Okay, great. All right, I won't put that in there yet. Let me go back to Facebook here. Okay, I see a question from Noreen. I'm going to hit that, and then I see, yeah, I see questions now. Yeah, the Instagram wasn't refreshing for me, so thank you for your patience, team. I'm going to get through it all now. All right, so let me go to Noreen first in Facebook. I started using Theatrical Index again recently, but I'm confused on how to make the most of it. I see that it shows a list of upcoming shows. Is it worth using the paid version? Does that provide contact info for the theater professionals? Or does it share the same info that you get from Playbill, Casting About, and other sources? Ooh, see, Noreen, when I used Theatrical Index, it was a hard copy thing that I bought at Drama Bookshop, and it listed everything. The names, I feel like it listed the contact info, or maybe I just researched the contact info. I am sure the contact info for the theater professionals you can find, because a lot of it is going to be artistic directors or the casting directors. I'm sure you can find that information elsewhere. So what I would do is I would look at, I don't know, Arizona Rep popped in my head. Is that even a theater? I don't know. That popped in my head. Arizona Rep is doing 3 plays. You're right for one of them. I would send a email directly to the artistic director and an email to the casting director saying, hey, I see your upcoming season. Um, I tell stories of blah, 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 which exactly fits into the tone of this play. Here's a link to my Actors Access. Would love to be of service on audition for this part. Right. But I'm sure you can find that information elsewhere. I didn't even know that it was online now. and that they had 2 levels of, joining it. That's so funny. But yeah, so you really wanna look at what are the shows that fit you like a glove, you know? And then reach out to the art because the artistic directors, if they get an email from you and they're like, "Oh, she's perfect," they're gonna say pass that on to the casting director and go, "Make sure to see this person." Right? So that's why I think targeting the artistic directors are great, but you can find that information online. You can find their emails online. You can find that stuff. So let me know if that helps, Noreen, if you have a follow-up question to that. All right, now I'm seeing all this stuff on Instagram. I don't know why it wasn't populating. Okay. Carolyn, I forgot out a week ago, and I did not get cast in a series lead role that I had been in the process in for 9 months. I made it to the last two, and the other actor got it. I'm having trouble moving on. Sorry, Instagram totally scrambled my comment. Okay, so reading it again. Hold on. I found out last week I did not get cast in a series lead role that I've been in audition process for 9 months. I'm having trouble moving from the devastation of it. I got to the final two. The other actor booked it. My question is, how can I still use the fact that I got so far to market myself to agents? I have one in the Southeast, but need one in the New York region. I feel like almost booking this was a huge accomplishment. That it sucks that I can't put it on my resume. Oh, Carolyn, I've been there. Yes, it was down to me and I think it was 3 or 4 other women for a lead in an Apple TV series, and I didn't get it, and I was devastated. And after not getting it, like a month later, I was walking my dog in my old neighborhood, 'cause this was a couple years ago, and they were filming it a block from my house. The house that would have been my house as that character was a block from where I lived. I was like, no makeup, walking the dog early morning, and I see the director and I see the people. I was like mortified, and I wish I would have said something and walked up, but my shame got in the way and I didn't. So I hear you, Carolyn. And I first of all, I'm so sorry that sucks. Second of all, that is fucking huge and congratulations. That is huge. Yes, you get to put that. You know what I would do? On Actors Access, you can create headers. That's how you have like film, television, theater. That's a header. Like I have a header with my website. During COVID, I had a header with like vaccinated and boosted. Do you know what I mean? I would create a header and like final two for lead in whatever. Like, what's the clout that you can put in? Was it an Apple TV series? Was it feature film for Lionsgate? Was it, feature film directed by big name, right? I would put that as a header because like when someone goes into your Actors Access, they'll see that first. But yes, 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 that is definitely something you can use to pitch to agents. That is freaking huge because that agent's client might not even have gotten an audition and you were down to the final two. So I get that how much it hurts. Believe me, I get it. I was totally depressed because I was like, this could have changed my entire career. And I get that that's how you're feeling as well. But that is a huge thing to use in terms of reaching out to agents. And even your subject line could be down to final two for whatever it was. I would open that. That's a great subject line. So yes, you want to lean into that. That gets to be in your pitch email, gets to be in your subject. You can put that in Actors Access. I would do a post about it on Instagram, but like a heartfelt post of like how um, the actor journey is exhilarating and disheartening at the same time, right? But put that out there of this success that you've had. I think it's really important to own it. You get to own it. So let me know if you have a follow-up question to that. Um, Yeah, let me know, Carolyn. She said, "Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, cool. I love that idea. Great. Great. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with that. You get to spin it. Your agent in the Southeast, you can even say, hey, maybe, if you are pitching me for something, let's make sure to use this as a bullet point. Send them a bullet point, send them some verbiage they can copy and paste. Right. Even my manager now, because I'm just building back up my theater portfolio. Um, my manager asked her, hey, send me some bullet points of your theater career that I can use to pitch you. So I created like 4 or 5 bullets that she can use. Create that for your team now, right? There's a lot that you can do to use that. It's really great. I know it sucks, but congratulations, because that is so huge. That casting director, you are in that office. They're going to trust you implicitly always, always. Let me say hey to Gaynell. Let's see. Erica, my question is how to increase body image issues and how that relates to headshots. Excuse me. Erica says, I need help improving body image confidence and how that relates to having headshots and show my most confident and self-assured self. I love this question. I think our industry is so hard, and not even just our industry, the world is so hard, right? With this idea of perfection. I don't know. I was just having this conversation with a girlfriend of mine, and she was telling me some small things she had done on her face of Botox or filler or this or that. And I was just like, and I've done nothing. Like, I've done nothing. And I'm, in my 40s. I'm in my late 40s. I've done nothing. And I feel proud of that because I want people to see, and yes, I have good lighting, but I want people to see my wrinkles. I want to own my age. I want you to own your body. I want everyone to own implicitly who you are, because you know what? They're going to need a woman in their 40s who can do this. Right? Because not a lot of women in their 40s can move their damn forehead anymore. They're gonna need actresses of all shapes, sizes, colors, body types. We're going to need that for roles. So I just hate this idea of every woman feels like they need to get Botox and everyone's face starts to look the same and no one's aging anymore. No one can move their damn face and everyone's told we need to be a certain size, and it just pisses me off. So, Erica, I really appreciate this question. Um, I mean, how to support you in that? There's some like I'm a big fan of Mind Valley. It's an app that has a lot of like programs and meditations and things like that. There's a lot of stuff on there for body image, self acceptance, self love. I think I would encourage you to do some kind of meditation or mindset program around that to support you. I would also like go on Pinterest, create some kind of vision board of owning your body, whatever that means. Like, right, someone that's your body shape that looks really great in these outfits, or these outfits that you want to wear that would look great on you, and just like so that way you can tell your brain, look at these women working, look at these women and how fabulous they look, even though they're not a size 0 or whatever it is, right? How can you give yourself images that reiterate the positivity as opposed to images that reiterate the negativity? I had after having that conversation with my friend, she was like, "Oh, based on our conversation, Instagram obviously heard her, and she sent me this crazy ass video of like all the places to get Botox on your face." And it was this woman like dabbing all these dots on her face of where you could get Botox, and at the end, her entire face was covered with dots, and her neck was covered with dots, and I was just like, my mouth was open the whole time, and I was like, "This is what we feel we need to do to look good." Right? And it's like, but that's what we're given, right? And then when we're told, oh, you need to have this to look good. You need to have this to look good. You need to be this to look good. And it's such bullshit. So, Erica, I really, again, acknowledge you for posting that question. And I really invite you to find images and validation that validates who you are and how you want to be. She said, thank you. It's just really hard to be a woman in 2025. There is so much pressure. There is so much pressure. And everything we see on social media is fake. I mean, like literally, pretty much everything is fake. Do you know what I mean? Everything is retouched. Everything has a filter. Everything has something, right? Like I have good lighting, but I don't put filters on anything. Like I'm just trying to be real, and it's hard. It's hard. So I get it. So we need to keep reinforcing, right? I keep looking at the women in their 40s who can move their forehead, who are aging gracefully. And I'm like, oh my God, look at, who was I just looking at the other day? I don't know, oh my God, I'm forgetting now. Anyway, it was some woman that I respect, and she's a beautiful actress. And I was like, oh my God, her face actually moves. How lovely, right? She's not falling prey that she needs to do all these things. So Erica, I get it. I get it. I think I would find some self-love, self-acceptance, body image meditation stuff that you can do, but just surround yourself um, with the positive visuals that reinforce your own self-worth. Let me know if that makes sense. But yeah, this is stuff that we just get to talk about, you know? I mean, body issues at any age, right? I mean, that's an any age thing. I mean, I'm in the place where I'm thinking more about aging in Hollywood, right? And what that means, and the expectations around that. Um, but so we're all I think every woman is on their journey with that in a different way. So I really appreciate you, and having that insight. Oops, restream they were good. Katie says on YouTube, and as a plus size woman, I feel this so much. Yeah, you're definitely not alone with that, Erica. Not at all. All right, let me go back here. Hi Renee. Hi Carlos. Let's see. Carolyn says thank you. Cool idea. She says she can't stop crying. I know, Carolyn. It fucking sucks. Girl, I've been there. I get it. I get it. You know, and even like I was just pinned for 2 shows and got released from both of them. And it was like, oh, I just want the booking. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Carolyn says, I think there was an NDA. I can't say too much yet. Should I say upcoming streaming series? You can definitely say upcoming streaming series. Can you mention the platform? Or do we not know where it's landing yet? You can say upcoming Netflix series, upcoming something series. You could probably say that without saying anything. Yeah. Erica says, thank you. That makes sense. Yeah. Uh, Erica says, yeah, the struggle is real. Same here. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, that's really all I can say. Like we're all on our own journeys with that. And I get, I think women, we feel it more, but I know men have that same thing, And even I talk to clients of mine who are like 26 and they're like, "Oh my god, the clock is ticking. I'm not in my early 20s anymore." And I'm like, "Girl, just wait. Just wait." But we all have this idea of aging is bad, no matter what age you're at. Or, being a plus size woman is bad, right? And again, I mean, this is what we hear. So how can we reinforce the positivity of that? Because look on television, look in films, not everyone is 19 years old and a size 0. It's just not true. So why are we made to feel so bad when we need older people. Again, we need people of all shapes and sizes and colors. Yeah, but thank you. It's this I could talk about this for hours, hours. Oh my god, it's 11:01. Look at that. Time has flown. I need a sip of tea. Okay. All right, everyone. Let me just make sure that I've answered everything. Kieran says thank you. We got that here. And yes, nothing else has happened here on Facebook. All right. First of all, thank you so much for any tech issues we had at the top. I think we figured it out for the most part. I know my connection was going a little bit in and out in terms of pixelation. But Erica, thanks for sending me some article. I'm going to check that out. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be perfect. But perfection doesn't exist. So if it's not perfect, who cares? But here we are. And thank you so much for these lovely questions. Thank you so much for your insight and your vulnerability and for showing up for you. At the top of this, I was saying, I feel like actors are feeling a little like, victimized in our career right now. And we forget that there's so much we can control. So I really acknowledge you all for showing up today and going, no, what can I control? What questions can I ask? Can I get some other insight to be able to move forward in a different way? And again, just a reminder, I am hosting a free 5-day training, the In-Demand Actor Blueprint. It's 5 working strategies that working actors use. We start March 17th. So if you sign up now, I'm also sending you some other free video content prior to get your mind going. There's a huge workbook with some exercises for you to do prior. It's a really big training. It's recorded and will be up and through March 28th. So if you have not yet secured your spot, I really invite you to do that because I really want to continue to help you on your journey. And I know that this training has been game changing for so many actors. So I trust I will see you there. Katie says, thank you for your insight. You're so welcome, Katie. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Instagram. And again, if you're not following me on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel, Actor Insider on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram at Actor Insider, or come on over and join my community on Facebook called the Actors Workspace. All right, everyone. I will see you later. I got to end each stream individually, so you probably will see me floundering for a second. So I will say bye.